Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is David Rubino with Metra. Before we get started here, I'd like to introduce from our mechanical department, Alma Cervantes. Alma's going to give us our safety briefing this morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm the budget manager for the mechanical department for Metra, and I'm here to welcome you to Western Avenue and give you our safety briefing for today. We are currently located at 2741 West Grand Avenue, Chicago. In the event of an emergency, please exit northwest through the northwest doors. Once outside, proceed to the parking lot where we will meet and take a head count. In addition to cell phones, there are phones located in the mechanical offices. Dial 9 for an outside line and then 911 in case of an emergency. Immediately after, contact the Metro Police at 312-322-2800. In case of a fire, the nearest fire extinguisher is located just north of the seating area. If you are CPR or first aid certified and willing to assist in an emergency, please identify yourself. I think we're going to go with the shop superintendent, Juan Rodriguez, today. In the event an AED is needed, they are located on the wall near the stairwell. And if there's anyone with special needs during the evacuation that needs additional assistance, you can reach out to any of the Metro employees wearing a hard hat for assistance. And in the event that we need to call for emergency responders, we're going to have Bruce Marchese meet the responders at the entrance and escort them to the location where help is needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Alma. Once again, good morning. My name is David Rubino. I'm the Senior Division Director of Metra's Customer Experience and Communications Department. It's my privilege to welcome you all today. What we hope you find is an informative event. On behalf of everyone at Metra, I'd like to offer my sincere thank you for joining us here today. You know, we hear a lot of talk these days about changing times and the new normal. And while some things have certainly changed and still some others may, one thing has not changed. Metra has continued to run trains throughout this pandemic. It makes me proud, truly proud, of my thousands of colleagues who have worked day and night to run these trains and deliver essential staff to the places they need to be. And although the road ahead is still uncertain, I know Metra's staff will adapt and deliver. So with that, I'd like to begin with the agenda today. I will soon introduce Metra's CEO and Executive Director, Jim Derwinski. After Mr. Derwinski, you will hear from Janice Thomas. Janice is Metra's Chief of Staff. Janice will deliver a brief video presentation, and after those two, we will move off for questions and then even a tour of the equipment that sits right outside this building. So let me step out of the way, but before I do, I'd like to introduce Metra's CEO, Executive Director, Mr. Jim Derwinski.
I'd like to also thank everyone for attending today, and anybody that'll be viewing this later. We appreciate your support. You know, as you came to the railroad today, I'm sure you noticed a lot of people wearing orange and yellow. That's because safety is our #1 priority. You know, during this pandemic, safety took on a little bit more broader definition, and I think that's something that we're going to talk to you about today. Metra stands ready to revitalize this economy in the region. We stand ready to get people back to normal. What does normal mean in their lives? Their family, going to work, and someday, yes, we'll be going back to those great Chicago sporting events. You know, behind me stands a locomotive. It's a symbol of normalcy. It's a symbol for the entire region. Metra is an asset of the entire region. That's why we're starting to call it My Metra. Everybody owns Metra. Everybody has a stake in Metra. Metra affects millions of people every day. Not just the riders, but the non-riders. It helps grow the economy. It helps relieve congestion. We were green before green was ever invented. You know, people have a lot of questions about what's going on. One of the big ones is, how did Metra handle COVID? And that's what we're here to tell you about today. Employees and employers, they have a lot of questions, and we're here to help answer those questions. We feel that as our obligation to provide the information, and that's why we wanted to hold this event today. We stand ready with open doors to welcome riders back and invite new riders in. When you ride on Metra, you're going to commute with confidence. Confidence that you're going to get there on time, confidence that you're going to get there safe, 18 times safer than on those roadways out there, and confidence that the cleaning efforts are top-notch. That, in effect, that expanded definition of cleanliness is now our new priority. So with that, I'd like to have Janice R. Thomas come up, my Chief of Staff, and tell you about what Metra's done to make these trains ready for everyone, ready for the region, to commute with confidence.
Good morning, and thank you, Jim. As Jim said, we realized that we had to tell our story. And although COVID-19 has changed part of our story for the time being, it still gave us an important reason to communicate with the community. Metra is about trust. You trust us to get you to your destination on time, and you trust us to get you there safely. So, we're about to launch Metra's communications campaign that outlines all of the things we're doing to keep people safe. The core of our message is that riders can commute with confidence. But these just aren't words. We're going to explain the reason why. We're cleaning, disinfecting, sanitizing our trains on a daily basis. If you haven't taken a ride recently, I encourage you to do so. And you'll see spotless cars that look almost new. We have a mask requirement for everyone on board. We have a one-person per seat policy that promotes staggered seating and physical distancing. In addition, we're giving people as much time as they need to keep their space and enter and exit the train safely. We have installed hand sanitizer on every car. Every car has hospital-grade air filters on board to help clean the air. Our cars have fresh air dampers that circulate fresh air into the car, ventilating them to improve safety. In fact, our air system replaces the air in each car once every 4 minutes. We encourage all riders to download the Venture app and use touchless ticketing. We even added a $10 all-day pass to encourage use. We have a website people can visit to see how full cars are, line by line and time. We call it our ridership dashboard, and it's available at metrorail.com/dashboard. So that's our plan to keep people safe. And everything I just described, you'll see on board the trains and in the stations. You can see it for yourself if you tour the train behind us. So there are a lot of ways we help keep our riders safe. But I think one of our conductors, Beth Birkenfeld, sums it up best in a new commercial that airs this week. Let's take a look.
When it comes to commuting, we know you're concerned. But on My Metra, we're committed to your safety. Every day, we're sanitizing and disinfecting our trains. We use hospital-grade air filters. You'll find hand sanitizer on board. Masks are mandatory. We're practicing physical distancing and giving you extra time at your station, all to get you to work or home safely and on time. You see, we're still your best way to commute. That's why it really is My Metra for all of us.
I think Beth did a great job, and I particularly like her saying, that's why it's My Metra for all of us. We can't make COVID-19 go away. No one can right now, but we can show people how to work around it. We can help businesses and riders feel confident that we will take them there because we will. We can make it easier for them to make a decision to return to work because it's one less thing they need to worry about. Beth is only one of the many employees that we have lined up to tell our story. Let's hear from Ayana Walker.
Are you heading back to work? Let My Metra take you there. I'm Ayana Walker, a compliance specialist with My Metra. Every day, we have dedicated crews hard at work sanitizing, disinfecting, and deep cleaning our trains and stations. You see, it's not enough to get you back to work on time. We're going to get you there safely. Your well-being is our number one concern. So why waste time and money sitting in traffic when you can commute with confidence on My Metra?
Our campaign will be truly integrated. We are working on leveraging all earned, owned, and purchased media to tell our story. In fact, it's the largest communication initiative we've done since I've been at Metra, and that's over a decade. One of the key media we will use is outdoor. You'll see that each board picks up another piece of the message we told on TV and radio. Let's take a look at some. We also have social media in both paid and unpaid formats. You can see here. Now let's see how Conductor Beth looks on mobile advertising.
On My Metra, we're committed to your safety. We're sanitizing and disinfecting every day. We're practicing physical distancing, and masks are a must. There's even hand sanitizer on board. So commute with confidence on My Metra.
And we have digital media that communicate the same messages as we have on TV and radio. Like I said, we have one message, and we're using every medium we can to tell commuters that they can commute with confidence. Like Beth said, Metra belongs to all of us. And as Jim pointed out, Metra is good for all of us. It is my most sincere hope that you agree and that you share this with your readers, viewers, and listeners so that they can hear the message too. Together, we can get people moving again safely. And before we finish up, and before you take a look at the train, it's been a while since we held a media event. And we realize how important it is to have good working relationships with you. So as we have important news to share, we will continue to hold these events. And if ever any information you seek, we will be 100% available for your call. This is My Metra for all of us. And on behalf of everyone at Metra, we wish you health and happiness. And again, we thank you for coming. Now, I'm going to ask Jim to come back up here, please, and join me for any questions. And I'm also going to invite Bruce Marchese, our Chief Operations Officer, to join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Janice. Any questions? Yes, so in June, we launched the My Metra Touch Less, Pay Less campaign on the Metra app. It's a $10 all-day pass, no matter where you get on or get off the train. You can transfer lines. That currently stays in effect through October 31st. And as we look at ridership, and we'll be evaluating if that continues. Yeah, it's very difficult, like any of the public transportations, to know who's sitting around you. So we participate with the health department if we ever do get a call, but it's very, very difficult since it's not like assigned seating with your name attached to it to really get into the type of contact tracing that you may be familiar with. Ridership numbers, like what is the percentage
Right now, we're about 90% down, so only 10% of our ridership. We're right around 25,000 riders a day compared to our pre-COVID that ranged upwards of 260, 270,000 a day.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, as we have to make ridership projections every year for budget, we've unfortunately had to reduce it from what we thought was going to be 30% by the end of the year. Actually, originally, when we all thought this was going to be much less of a pandemic than it's turned into, the ridership numbers were even higher. So we've had to reduce those all the way down to now 20% just by the end of the year. Optimistic, yes. We're too much of a vital resource in the region, just like any urban area. There's no way you can put all those people on the roads. And granted, we understand everyone's not going to be going down the central business district, but they may not be going down 5 days a week, but they still may be going down 2, 3 days a week. And so the seating capacity still has to be there. We're also very cognizant that prior to COVID, we were running a lot of trains well above or right at 100% capacity, some very heavy trains. Now those seats are going to become available. That experience for the passenger is going to change because of that. And so we're going to be really using campaigns to target that new marketplace, new riders that may want to start riding Metra. And we're going to be really looking at the fare product in year 2021 to really try to attract people back. We understand clearly we're not going to get exactly back the same riders that we had prior to COVID.
Different topic, but looking ahead as far as funding from the federal government, what is the metric need? What does it need? No?
Yes. Yeah, so the question is, what is the needs, specifically if we get funding from the federal government? I mean, that's always a loaded question because in the beginning, when we all didn't realize how long the pandemic would last, there was really no understanding of what the needs were going to be. I think we have a clearer picture right now. In the last round of CARES Act funding, Metra netted $479.2 million. That right now is going to take us into 21. Clearly, we're going to need more assisted funding from the federal government as they come up with further relief packages. We've signed on with APTA on a proposal for transit nationwide of $32 billion. But to actually answer the question distinctly, you'd have to know when everything's going to end and when everybody's going to come back. But clearly right now we're good through the middle part of 21.